Have you ever fired an acquirer because they've been too difficult to deal with?
That's a good question. I've certainly fired clients who were too difficult to deal with.
Yeah. I can comment there. I have. In fact, we've been working with a client along the tenacity theme for the last 5 years. And one of the reasons that it's taken that long is because we had, in fact, 2 acquirers on one deal, so that we moved into exclusivity and due diligence. And something happened in that process where we fired him because they reneged on some of the terms we agreed. And then we moved into the next process with the next acquirer. And they didn't commit capacity and resource to stick to their agreed timelines. So it's been a long drawn out, probably a poster child when we actually going to market now. In fact, those are the guys I alluded to earlier that we've approached the market and we got interest out of Belgium. But it is a fine line between what do you accept and when you draw that tough decision to part. But on a deal I'm working on currently, I always use the example that the way the completion and due diligence and final negotiation process plays out is a really good insight into how the buyer and the seller are going to work together. So if it's a real nightmare and it's abrasive and all of those things, you think, is this what the day-to-day is going to look like? So it's never easy, but it also comes down to what options do you have? Rick will raise that final point, but are there additional buyers that were interested? What are your circumstances? Do you have to sell all of those elements? But it's not easy. And I know I've had to do it a couple of times and it's not ideal, but it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, it's looking after what should be a great and successful transaction and hopefully a legacy that's the resounding success in time.
And I think, Andrew, you'll admit that when you start seeing the signs of this isn't the right acquirer, you would think that it would be our job to say, oh, come on, let's see if we can make it. Let's keep nurturing it. Maybe we can make it work. I tell you, when the signs are there, they're there. You can't deny them. You've got to call it because nothing worse than just dragging these things out. In fact, these guys who were here in our boardroom just now were asking the question about how do you deal with, and they've been through this before, where you sign, you basically accept an offer and then the terms keep changing. That's a sign that it's a wrong acquirer because a good acquirer holds on their terms and keeps the deal intact. There are, without any doubt, dodgy acquirers out there. I call them dodgy, but they come in various forms who are quite willing to find opportunities. They see a due diligence as an opportunity to find reasons to drop the price. And the moment that's starting to happen, you've got to ask some very serious questions about it.